Let's do Tesla real quick, just because. Just because. All right, Tesla's at 190 right now. Yeah, it's kind of been choppy for the last, several years. Tesla doesn't do, well, of course they do SEC filings. Everyone has to, but they do the investing letter a little bit differently. They don't really do press releases, I should say. So Tesla's a weird one because you have this cult of personality around Elon, which is well deserved in a lot of ways. He's like the best capitalist the world's ever had, arguably. Maybe the best technologist the world's ever had. I don't know. What do you guys think? Something like that. Let's see. So Tesla's around 30 in cash, 600 million market cap, 600 billion market cap. If any of you guys have questions, you can jump on the Twitter Spaces, and I can take questions live as well. Or if you have something to say, I guess. Yeah, so Tesla has like 23 billion in cash. Basically immaterial compared to the market cap of 600 bill. I actually did update. Did they report Q2 yet? Does anybody know? Yes, they did. I think it was pretty crummy, right? Let's see. So if you haven't watched the Lex Friedman interview, I would strongly suggest that. Lex did his 5th interview with Elon. It was quite good. So, wow, Automotive down 7% year over year. Wow. Let's look into that a little more. Okay. Model 3, Model Y production down 16%, 386. Just get all these numbers in the right places. 386,576. So that's the first production number below 400K in a while, but still quite a bit above. It's still growing quite a bit. It still has grown quite a bit. Maybe I should put it that way. And there isn't a huge reason to be too scared yet. But it is a little worrisome. Oh, it's interesting. They're starting to disclose a little bit more maybe than I thought, which is great. Lithium refinery, wow. Hmm. Okay, financial statements. So I think the kitchen synced kind of like Q1. They had a huge regulatory credit quarter. We can adjust for that. A huge energy quarter from the old acquisition. Maybe that's finally starting to do well. So one of the things I like to look at for Tesla is just like automotive gross margins, because it's kind of the thing you look at for any traditional car maker. And I don't know if it's the company that it's the company needing to do like a product refresh or what, but it's certainly not negative, but it's not that inspiring either. You would think they would be scaling up. That's the whole point of the Tesla growth story, at least on the car side. On the software side and on the robot side, those are kind of the call options, but they're expensive call options at a 600 billion market cap. It's hard to want to pay for that, right? So you can get Ford, or some other auto company that's maybe less efficient, maybe Toyota. Ford's market cap is 37 billion. GM is 45 billion. Toyota is a little more realistic. Maybe it's 257 billion. So, it's hard to compare Tesla to those companies because those companies kind of suck. But would you pay $100 billion market cap for like a poorly defined AI company? I don't think so. I think that's too expensive. Scotty, you're welcome to talk anytime you want. So anyway, let's keep looking at Tesla because that's what was asked of me by my Godel subscribers. Godel is my alternative to Bloomberg. Please feel free to sign up. Let's see here. I haven't caught up with what like Tesla's actual plan is for expansion. Let me it'll probably be in here somewhere, so let me glance at that too. I don't follow autos, or I should follow Tesla a little more closely because it really at this point is an AI company with an auto company attached, and even the auto side is quite a bit of AI. There's a funny video that I saw, and again, I like Elon a lot, but there's a funny video I saw of Elon promising self-driving cars every year for the last decade. And look, engineering is difficult. It takes time. Technology is often not ready. So but it's a funny video if you haven't seen it. What's up, Iklal? How are you? My Turkish queen. I'm simping out here, guys. So yeah, I mean, gross margin for Tesla has been pretty low for the last like year. It reached a peak of 29% when kind of revenue peaked as well. So we had that like a super normal situation there. I don't know if his robots are fake. That's a big accusation. On the cash flow side, Tesla did 3.6 in cash flow, which is a pretty good number. With CapEx, though, the free cash flow is pretty de minimis. And TTM free cash flow is 1.8, which on a 600 billion cap is a little crazy. 300 times earnings, no big deal. Right, so the market cap or the enterprise value is 584 billion. So 2 billion in free cash flow to support 584 billion is a lot, but you know, I'm thinking that R&D line, it's amazing that R&D line isn't that big. I was going to say you can chop that R&D line a little bit, but you'd maybe add another billion. It's not that much. So it's a little tricky. Let's see, let's read through this a little. Energy storage records, that was the Solar City acquisition. Yeah, you never count Elon out, but you also shouldn't give huge market cap for nothing. And the fact that he wants to be in Waymo's business now, when he could have been in Waymo's business for a long time, it's kind of interesting, you know, that the robotaxi side, because Cruise and Waymo have been around for a while. And I think maybe he's just been planning it. But now's the time to announce it. It's interesting they don't break out Cybertruck either. I don't know. I personally wouldn't buy it just because that's how I am. I'd probably buy Tesla. Let me take a look. Shut up, kitty. My cat's whining. I'd buy Tesla like a little lower, maybe a lot lower. I don't know, at $100, it's probably a great buy. I'm not sure I'd buy it at this price unless there was material rebound in revenue. But if there was a material rebound in revenue, the price would be a lot higher. So it's pretty tricky. One of the things that concerns me is that, you know, in most businesses, you don't have to look at free cash flow. But in this case, they have massive amount of CapEx. So like looking at free cash flow is pretty important. I don't know, it's not that bad. It could be an okay buy here, actually. I think at 100 I would say it's a screaming buy. But at 190 it's like an okay buy. But you also have to assume the auto business comes back Optimus works, Cybertruck grows, Robotaxi works, then you can get a pretty healthy return. And those things don't have to happen overnight. They could just happen relatively slowly. Musk is not a moron. Nothing could be further from the truth. So I'm trying to think of ways to estimate deliveries during the quarter. Wall Street seems to get that fairly right. Thanks, Lehan. Kitty does sound like she's hungry. Okay, let's look at the vehicle capacity side. So Tesla sort of like put this narrative out there that vehicle capacity is, or like vehicle demand is basically infinite for their products. I don't think that's really necessarily true anymore. They certainly seem to deliver everything they make, which is fairly impressive. So let's take a look at this. We continue to add to our vehicle lineup globally, including the introduction of the new Model 3 and Model Y trims and additional paint options for the sexy lineup. After a sequential decline in production in Q2, we expect a sequential increase in production in Q3. Well, that's good. All right, so Q3 might be pretty good for Tesla. Still not sure they're covering CapEx that well. Let's continue here. Refreshed Model 3 ramp continued successfully, including the introduction of Model 3 Performance in Q2 and long-range rear-wheel drive in July. We also continue to qualify more Model 3 trims for the IRA tax credit. Cyber production more than tripled sequentially and remains on track to achieve profitability by the end of the year. Well, that's interesting. So that might mean that Q2 earnings were suppressed because of Cybertruck, which is the kind of suppression you like, as well as Q1, which is the kind of suppression everyone would like. Expanding your business briefly requires some brief losses. So that's a little more bullish. Yeah, I mean, it's probably around 100 times like actual earnings, which isn't so bad, given how Elon grows and the opportunity even in electric conversion and stuff like that. So it's probably not a bad buy. I would probably own a little bit of Tesla, at the very least. Shh, stupid cat. It's heartening that the Tesla's market share is still quite low. This cat. Okay, so Model 3Y in Shanghai has gone from 750 to 950. Model Y 350 to 375 in Berlin. Model Y in Texas is the same. Cybertruck. Oh, that's weird. It used to say 300,000 for Cybertruck, but now it's, I guess, 125,000. Our company is currently between two major growth waves. The first one began with the global expansion of the 3Y platform, and we believe the next one will be initiated by advances in autonomy and introduction of new products, including those built on our next generation vehicle platform. In 2024, our vehicle volume growth rate may be notably lower than the growth rate achieved in 2023, as our teams work on the launch of the next generation vehicle and other products. In 2024, the growth rates of energy storage deployments and revenue in energy generation should outpace the automotive business. Yeah, I mean, if you believe in Elon, the stock's a pretty good buy here, but you always have to have a little bit of wiggle room. Oh yeah, how's WIF doing? Oh man, the dog's losing the hat. Dog without hat. Okay, so new vehicles in first half 25, including more affordable vehicles. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think it's still in Elon we trust.